let me do that. And let me re-welcome every one of you. Looks like we have a lot of people that are continuing to join in. But welcome to the Elite Stronghold call tonight. And this is part 6 of the Master Series training. As we're nearing the end of this, I really hope that each and every one of you have really taken advantage of these trainings, guys. I mean, can you imagine how much it would cost you to get in the same room and to be surrounded by people of this caliber, such as our special guest for this evening, but the people that you have heard week in and week out on these calls, guys. This is truly a treat for each and every one of us, and I hope you guys are taking advantage of this, as well as getting your coaches and your team to take advantage of it, guys. Because, I mean, again, it's not normal that you get to learn directly from people who are so incredibly successful in their team Beachbody businesses. But before we get started, let me do a couple of quick housekeeping notes, and then I just want to share something with you all before we bring Melissa on. But quick housekeeping notes. First and foremost, number 1, get a pad, get a pen, take copious notes, guys. You want to take notes. You want to get this information. You want to be able to go through it, rewatch this, write your notes down a different way, because all the information that you're going to find out tonight is not proprietary information. I'm sure that Melissa is not going to give us anything that she wants to keep underneath, close to the cuff. But also, the more you learn and the more that you can get this and commit it and use it, guys, you can turn around and get all this information, put it together, make it your own, roll it out, and you'll be training your teams whenever they grow so large. So, guys, take advantage of this. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've got a whole notebook full of notes over the last few weeks. So, come on, guys. If I'm doing it, you guys should absolutely do it. So that's number 1. Number 2, up in the top right-hand corner of your screen, there's a little thing that says Speaker View. I want you guys to click that and make sure that the Speaker View pops up, because the big reason is when the speaker is talking, because all the rest of you are muted. So whenever Melissa is on here or I'm talking or whatever, that needs to be the person that's at the forefront of your screen, because that is the person that you are learning from. You don't need to have the Brady Bunch view with us in this little bitty screen. Have the screen lit up. Have that person get your complete focus as you're writing your notes and you're listening. And then lastly, one thing I want to share with you, and if hopefully I won't take too long, Melissa, I definitely want to get into. And by the way, you're still muted, and I unmuted you, so you'll have to unmute yourself. It's been, I appreciate and I thank each and every one of you guys for the well wishes and the condolences over the passing of my mom a week ago tomorrow. Quite possibly the toughest thing that I've ever had to go through. Anyway, sorry. I don't know. I guess Melissa dialed in and she logged in and everything too. But so I really genuinely appreciate all of that from the bottom of my heart. But let me share something with you as well. Over the past 3 weeks, I had the opportunity to spend pretty much every waking hour, and I'm talking over 12 hours a day, 6 and 7 days a week, typically 7 days a week over the last 3 weeks. I got to spend it with my mom, okay? My mom had dementia/Alzheimer's, and I truly believe that she had a stroke, and that took her basically into a comatose state. And I spent that time with her. And had I still worked for the fire department, or had I had a regular 9-to-5 job, or did what my brothers did, because one's a nurse and he couldn't get off work that long, and the other one works in the auto parts industry. He couldn't take off work. Had I had a job like that, I wouldn't have been able to spend all that time with her, and I wouldn't have been able to be there when she took her last breath. And what I have to thank for that is the Team Beachbody opportunity and the coaching opportunity and the life that's allowed us to have. So forget about the income that comes in and making a ton of money. Forget about the toys that maybe you can buy when you're more successful. forget about the trips that you can take. Those are all well and fine. But I can't go back and ever get that time back if I didn't get to spend it with my mom. I wouldn't be able, no money in the world can go back and buy back time that's been spent. So, if anything, there's going to come a point in every one of your lives, okay, where you're going to have to choose between your family and your job. And I'm hoping and praying that's an easy choice for you to make, because you've done so well and you've really put your nose to the grindstone and work and taken this stuff that you're learning from these masters and put it into action. And you are afforded the ability to be there when a family member needs you. And you're able to take advantage of that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, not to bring anybody down, because I rejoice in where she is right now. I rejoice in her passing. I rejoice, and I'm very thankful for that time I had with her. But, man, it makes my hair stand up on the back of my neck whenever I think of the potential that each and every one of you have to be able to do that. And if one person wastes that potential and that opportunity, it's going to drive me crazy. So anyway, I digress. And without further ado, let me introduce you guys to our very, very special guest. I've had this date circled for quite a long time, and I've wanted to have Mrs. McAllister on one of our calls for a long time, and she's always traveling and never available. So I was able to finally get her to stay at home for a weekend, and able to get her on on our call. But guys, listen to this. I mean, this is like the who's who of she makes me feel inadequate when it comes to being a Team Beachbody coach. But let me just rattle off, and I'm going to make her uncomfortable. Okay. Number one, she's a superstar diamond, not one, but two, which means that she has taken 2 business centers to superstar diamond coach status, okay? I'm a superstar 1, and I don't think I could take it to superstar 2. It's hard to do. So for her to be able to do that, it's freaking amazing. She's been an elite coach 6 times. She's been top 10 coach 4 times, okay? Like I said, she's perennial top 10 coach. She's always in the mix, okay? She had, right now she sits at number 5 in the company, okay? So she's trying to do it again. And 75 months in Success Club. She was a fellow CAB member in 2014, 2015. She, of course, with all of this success, she has been part of the Millionaires Club for quite some time. And she is one of the favorite master trainers for any and all of our programs that we have. Even though she doesn't ever have to work another day in her life because of this business, she still continues to get up in the morning, go teach classes, because that's what her passion is, and that's what she loves to do. But put all of that, all those accolades aside, this is probably one of the most humble, one of the most genuine, and one of the most big-hearted people that I know. And she would literally give you the shirt off her back if you needed it. And this is someone whom I know that my wife and I could call if ever we were in a bind and we needed something. They would drop everything that her and her husband would drop everything that they were doing to come to our rescue. And for that, I am so pleased to have her and to call her a great friend. So without further ado, let me introduce each and every one of you guys to one of my dear close friends. This is Melissa McAllister. Melissa, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. What an amazing introduction. I need a tissue. But, Robert, you couldn't have teed up what I was going to talk about even more perfectly with how you introduced your team call today. So I'm going to try really hard. When I was talking with you, I was like, how long do you want me to talk? And so I've created my notes, and I always feel like I'm short and to the point, but I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. Just freeform it, girl. Just freeform it.
All right. Well, I first wanted to start off by telling you, which I think you guys all should know, is how to tell people that are interested in being a customer or being a coach how to hold on. I love you, Robert, but I'm staring just at your face, which is not bad. But let me put it on gallery. How and why you became a coach. And so if I can go back just a little ways, I have a 21-year-old son and an almost 20-year-old daughter. And I had them 18 months apart, and I wasn't feeling really good about myself. And plus I needed time away from being a mom. And so I joined the local gym and I started taking classes where I was at the back of the class. And I started getting a little more comfortable. So I moved to the middle, and then I went to the front of the class. And then I got a little cocky, and I got to the point that I was like, I can do what she does. So I took my first instructor training, and I became a group exercise instructor because, number one, it helped pay for my membership and my childcare. And number two, it helped hold me accountable to actually working out. I had to be there. I got in trouble, and that really helped. So I became an instructor, and long story short, I ended up becoming what was called an area promotions director for Chalene Johnson, which was in Hawaii. I promoted her products and did trainings for people to teach her programs. And at the time, it was only Turbo Kick and Pyo. So I did that for quite a while. And then, as you guys know, Chalene Johnson became a celebrity trainer for Beachbody. And after a lot of research, she decided that the coaching opportunity was good for her following. And so I was getting 1 million calls on my phone from other area promotions directors. And I'm like, what? I ignored them. Stupid. I ignored them. And so I didn't make it to California when everybody signed up all at once under Christine Dwyer. I didn't do it. So anyway, a couple weeks later, I was still getting calls. And finally, my good friend Michelle Park, who was the modifier on Pyo, if you've done the Pyo workouts, the one that holds onto the chair, called me and said, girl, you need to become a coach. And I said, what's a coach? And she goes, I have no idea. But Chalene says we should do it, so we should do it. And I was like, okay. And honestly, if I knew it was network marketing or direct sales or an MLM, I probably would have hesitated or said no. But I didn't get it, which is a good thing. And I signed up to be a coach. And I think Carl Deichler owes me a lot because I truly 100% think I'm the one who started challenge groups. It's me. Because as soon as I signed up to be a coach, I invited my neighbors, people from my church, people from my husband's work, people from my classes to come to my house. And we were going to do Turbo Fire at home. And at the time, if you remember, Robert, there was no such thing as Shakeology. So we had that amazing meal replacement shake. So good. Such quality. But they were drinking that instead of Shakeology. And they were having amazing results. They were taking my classes, but there's just something about Beachbody's home programs that are just all-encompassing. And I could control what they were doing from not just the hour that I was teaching them, because they could have taken my Turbo Kick class and gone through the McDonald's drive-thru. I had no control over that. But putting together a challenge group, I had control over both their nutrition, the support and accountability, and the fitness. And so I was on to something. And I just continued to do that. And I have done challenge groups now for, 7 years, a really, really long time. But the point of me telling you that part of my story was Mick, my husband, was affording us a great lifestyle. I had a new car. I had a beautiful house. I didn't want for anything. I didn't have to ask for permission to go to the grocery store and buy groceries. I was fit already. I didn't need to become a coach because I needed the accountability to lose weight. I joined the accountability for the camaraderie, the community, the culture. So I don't ever want you to dismiss the fact that when you look at somebody who you think would do a good job at this, if they don't need to lose weight, don't dismiss that. And if they're not hurting for money, don't think, they wouldn't be interested. Because I promise you, there's a ton of people out there that just miss, for lack of a better word, sorry, Robert, women, a sorority, a fraternity, something like that, what you feel like in your church or, your neighborhood has just this great community. And I had that with these area promotions directors. So whatever they were going to do, I was going to do as well. So it's just really important that you always remember, especially women, or people that work in cubicles and really don't get a lot of adult interaction. Becoming a coach is just, it's fun. And you build relationships that you otherwise wouldn't have. People, like me, self-proclaimed introvert, I didn't get out of the house much. I still don't. I'm a homebody, but I love being a coach because of seeing all of your, what are we at now? 58 faces, and being able to Zoom with you guys. I have to get on a Zoom here in a little bit with Miss Autumn Calabrese for our Country Heat and this test group that we're doing. It's just amazing. I got to talk on the phone with people today, so it gives me the chance to communicate with people and still be in my little bubble, which means the world to me. But people here lately have been asking me, Melissa, I just celebrated my 8th year anniversary as a coach a week ago when I was in Bora Bora, as a matter of fact. Good place to celebrate that. And Jeff Hill asked me, and I have a lot of people ask me, and I think you did too, Robert, but what drives you? You are going at this 8 years strong. What drives you? Well, I have to go back a lot farther to tell you what drives me. My dad was actually in Vietnam, and he was exposed to Agent Orange, interestingly enough. So while he was in the military, serving in the Army, he wanted to become a helicopter pilot. And in order for him to be able to fly helicopters, he had to lose weight. So the very thing that I am extremely passionate about is the same thing that ended up giving me severe birth defects. Ironic. But what happens is Agent Orange actually sits in your fat deposits where it hibernates. And so when my dad needed to lose weight to fly helicopters was the same time I was conceived. And so Agent Orange was in his bloodstream. And I came out with birth defects in my underarm, which I'd have a skin graft, and in my feet. And it was hard growing up because as a kid, especially in the South was where I was, it was warm. It was really just hard to hide your feet as a kid. And when I was really young, I didn't know any better. And I didn't know why people were, making fun or picking fun. And I have very few memories of my dad, but one of the memories I do have is me running home in tears because some kids were teasing me. And so he reached over and he grabbed a Louisville Slugger and he handed it to me. And he said, go get him. So here's this, he passed away when I was 5. So maybe around the age of 5, here's this 5-year-old running down the street with a Louisville Slugger baseball bat, ready to go beat up some kids. And my mom chasing after me like crazy saying, no, stop. But that's what my dad taught me to be, was a fighter. If I was ever backed in a corner or teased or questioned or, my values were, like I said, questioned, he instilled in me to be a fighter. Well, like I said, he passed away when I was right before I turned 6 years old in a helicopter crash. And my mom, bless her heart, she had lost her brother a year and a half before that. He committed suicide. And then she loses her husband. And so she was going through so much. And she kind of, became a recluse. Did that just turn off? And she kind of taught me to do the same thing. So instead of being a fighter, I became the introvert that I am now. And instead of fighting for myself, I kind of just hid. I hid from the world. I never went to pool parties. I never went to the beach. Kids would jump in a hot tub. I'd pass. Those kind of silly things. Never did sleepovers. Never went to camp just because of my feet. It was just easier. My mom taught me it was easier just to hide it than to be forthright with it. And so that's where I was for several years. And then I'm telling you, there's just something about Beachbody that brought the fighter out in me again. At first it started, I guess, with me. I loved the idea of being a coach, and it allowed me to get myself out of my shell. And so I fought to be noticed, to be recognized for doing good work. And then it went to the point that I fought for my husband. He, like I said, afforded us a wonderful lifestyle, but it was at the expense of his own time. He worked 70 hours a week, 6 days a week, never got to see his kids. So I started fighting for him, and I started working on this business really hard to bring him home. And then now it's my own coaches. I'm fighting for them. There's just so many coaches on my team, as I'm sure you guys that have a downline as well, you just take such a vested interest in them, and you want nothing more than for them to succeed. whatever success is to them, you want it for them. And so that's why I've remained a fighter for so long. And I still love it so much, which is what I'm going to talk about, is that burning passion. And I just don't see slowing down. It's just really hard for me to think for my coaches who see inspiration in me to watch me kind of fade away. You know, I don't want their inspiration to fade away. So I guess as long as they're going to fight, I'm going to fight too. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about people ask me how I get new coaches so fired up and how I keep my older coaches going, and pretty much how I keep myself going as well. And so I want to talk to you about keeping your coaches inspired. And I say inspired because I want you to know that there's a difference between motivating and inspiring. Do you think of those two words as the same thing? Do you interchange them often, or do you know that there's actually a distinction between the two? Because there is. The difference between motivation and inspiration, and I want you to remember that I came from a community. So for me, that's what this is all about. And we're going to talk about different reasons why people come into the business, but remember that for me it was community. So to be inspired and motivated, you know, was very important to me, and that's the reason I wanted to be a part of this anyway. So coaches run their teams from different motivation. Some of you are going to have become coaches because you wanted to lose weight and you wanted that accountability. Some of you do it for money, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then others do it just for that community and support. And some people do it for reasons that I'm not even listing, but you know specifically why you joined this business. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I want to define motivation, all right? It's psyching yourself up. It's chest pounding, it's fire walking, it's all of that stuff, right? Motivation is like when you go onto YouTube and you watch one of those videos that just get you pumped up, or your amazing coach puts an inspirational quote in your team page and you're just, for that day, you're so motivated to go crush it. That is motivation. It's talking yourself into doing things that you know you should do, right? So think about things in your team or in as a leader or in your business as a coach, that every day there's things that you know you need to do, but you just really need the motivation to get it done, right? Think about that. It's a good idea, but if there's no passion, then motivation is a push. It's external, right? You need that motivation to do the things that you think you're supposed to be doing. Now, inspiration, on the other hand, it's a calling. It feels effortless. You have to hold yourself back from starting now. Have you ever come up with an idea in the middle of the night or while you're driving and you have to get out of bed, or you have to stop the car and write notes or call somebody because you just came up with the best idea? That's inspiration. And that's completely different than motivation. You feel it in your bones. It's that fire in the belly that just won't go away. So I want to ask you right now, is that how you feel about coaching? It's rhetorical. I do see the gallery, but you don't have to shake your head, but I do want to know, do you sincerely feel that way about your coaching business right now, that you are inspired? You feel the fire in the belly. It's just in your bones. Everything you do takes you back to ways that you can coach better, or you can get back to it, or you can find ways to do something better. Or every day, does coaching feel like to you that you need to be motivated, that you need Robert to do something in order to keep you doing what you know you need to do every single day? Which is it? Okay. If you do feel that way about your business, then one of two things. If you are just over the moon about your business, you're either brand new and you don't know how to harness that, or you're probably pretty successful at this, right? But if you kind of said right now, no, I don't really feel that way about my business, it might feel like a job to you right now, then hold on. If not, you might be going about this business the wrong way. You're fighting to do things you've been told to do to be successful, instead of staying in your lane and feeling passionate about what you do. Now, I'm one of those people that will tell you there's things that it comes honestly to comparing. And I used to be very guilty at that. And I would compare myself to other coaches or I would learn what other coaches were doing. And so I would get out of my lane and I would get in their lane and I would try to do what they did. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to have longevity in this business and success in this business if you do what you love. I'm not going to be the kind of person, and I think John Maxwell might have said this too. I might be stealing it from him, but you need to use and strengthen what you're good at and not necessarily try to work on what you're bad at. All right. You're never going to enjoy and love this business if you are constantly trying to improve on things that you don't like to do or you're not very good at doing. Let it go. I am terrible, terrible at talking to people about signing up to be a coach. And I'm just going to digress a little bit here, but I want you guys to know that as a top 10 coach, most of those top 10 coaches bring in about anywhere from 20 to 40 coaches a month. In April and May, each month I brought in 8. I brought in 8 coaches and I actually went up. In May, I was number 11 and I went up to number 8. I'm getting that so wrong. In April, from number 11 to number 8. And then from May, I went from number 8 to number 5, recruiting 8 coaches. So I am here to tell you, it's not always about quantity, but it's about quality. Thank you. Work your strengths. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to work on, I'm not a good recruiter, but guess what? I know that. And I'm not going to go out and try to recruit people because it's just hard for me to do. Very, very difficult for me to do, being the introvert that I am. So what do? Instead, I work on my strengths, which is building relationships. And so when I bring on a coach, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to get to know that coach, build a relationship with them, understand them, know what makes them tick, and help them be successful. So what is your lane? You have to understand what it is that you're good at and what you enjoy doing in order to make this a long-term business. So let me give you an example. I loved challenge groups when I first started. I told you that. I ate them up because my passion is helping people feel confident about themselves. And that starts physically, and then we work on the inside. But I love doing challenge groups. But what's happened over the years is my business has gotten pretty good size. And my challenge groups, I was kind of lazy about who I let get in there. I tried to let my assistants help me with it, and I lost the passion for it. All passion, and I kind of let that go. And I jumped into the lane of the other coaches, and I started trying to do Facebook ads because I was like, well, they're signing so many coaches, and I'm getting my coaches from challenge groups. They're getting more coaches than I am. They must be doing it right, and I must be doing it wrong. And so I started to not like what I was doing because I was putting myself in the position of not enjoying the process of why I became a coach in the first place. And so it finally dawned on me, and again, John Maxwell helped with that, and we'll talk about it, but it was realizing that challenge groups are what feed my soul, are what make me happy. And I am not here to tell you that challenge groups are the answer to make you a top 10 coach, but it's finding something that you love to do that helps you help other people, which in turn helps you build a business. So I needed to go back to what I was doing and being happy and productive. Now, John Maxwell says 3 things. Number 1, what do you have to do in your business? What do you have to do that nobody else can do? If somebody else, and this is still hard for me, I have to admit, if somebody else can do something 80% as good as you, you should be delegating it, okay? And I'm trying. I'm a control freak that way. But what is something that only you can do in your business? Number 2, what makes you the most profit in your business? Think about it. And this is individual. It's not going to be the same for everybody. And number 3, what is the most rewarding thing you do for your business? Self-serving. What makes you feel good? And so when I was asked those questions, it led me right back to challenge groups. And so hi. Is it really?
Just to save you from.
Oh, see, I'm talking too long. He's telling me to.
What?
Okay, 5 more minutes. Sorry.
Don't get lost.
Yeah.
Actually, matter of fact, I'm gonna text him.
Okay. I gotta. I have my space heater on. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. But anyway, it all came back to challenge groups. Number one, challenge groups are the only thing I can do. It's not something I can outsource. They don't do very well if I outsource them. Number two, they make me the most profit, because I'm here to tell you, for me personally, if I invest in my customers in challenge groups, they become coaches, and they become, excuse my French, the best damn coaches I've ever had. Very successful coaches come out of challenge groups for me. And number three, what feeds my soul? Challenge groups. So, I've come back to my lane, and challenge groups are it for me, not Facebook groups. I wasted a lot of money trying to figure those out. Not Facebook groups, Facebook ads. And even if I would have people come in, it felt like sales to me. I was having somebody asking about the business. I was trying to explain it. I was trying to sell them on the idea instead of show them. I do a better job showing them what coaching can do instead of telling them. So for me, it worked better. And challenge groups, help you build relationships, which I think is key to this business and why we're different than most MLMs. And of course, the best quality coaches come from challenge groups for me. So that's profit, that I talked about. And it just makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to. So that's on a personal level, how I've really stayed successful and inspired by this is re-evaluating. So if you ever get to the point that you're like, okay, I'm not loving it like I used to, you have to reevaluate what you're doing. You may have jumped into somebody else's lane, or you may have kind of slacked on what brought you joy. Go back into it wholeheartedly and do what you enjoy, and you would be so surprised how strong your business gets. So, but how do I inspire my team to do the same? Because what inspires me doesn't necessarily inspire them, right? See, I would have made you here for like 90 minutes.
That's okay. We got all night.
No. So anyway, we tend to attract like-minded people, and knowing your coach's why is how you keep them inspired. And so if you're a brand new coach, this is just something, when you bring on your first coach, your third coach, your 10th coach, these tips I think have really helped me. I do know that I have one of the highest retention rates in the company. So I may not be a huge recruiter, but when they join my team, they stay. And they stay for multiple reasons, but that means a lot to me, that my retention rate is really high. And these are what I do in order to keep them happy and healthy, being a part of my team. So do they come in for income or weight loss? Or could it be, once again, community? Why is it that my coach is coming in? You have to understand every coach that you bring in has a different reason. And at first they might tell you a very superficial reason, but I really like the way how Beachbody pushes why, because I think you have to understand. And it's the same with your customers. Understand why your customers are in this challenge group if you run a challenge group. But why did they decide to become a coach? I guarantee you that it's not for the discount. I promise you. Most likely they're just too embarrassed or afraid to say that they're lonely and they really want to become a part of a community. But if you can just lovingly keep asking questions, you're going to hear why they really decided to become a coach, and you can work with that. So if you're not speaking their language, you will constantly be motivating your coaches instead of inspiring them. Lindsay Matway did a call for our team once, and I don't know if you guys have heard her say this, but it's a beautiful analogy. She talks about having just a bunch of air-filled balloons. And every once in a while, you'll pop a balloon, and it'll go up, and it'll slowly come down, and you have to pop it here and there. Everybody needs a popping. But then there's those people that you pop, and they fall down immediately, and you're popping them again, and you're constantly popping them to keep them up and motivated. But if you truly don't understand what inspires that coach, why are they doing this, so that you can help them stay inspired, they'll always be coming to you for motivation, or they'll always feel unmotivated and never really work. But if you can help them find that inspiration that they don't need anybody else because it comes from within, then they're going to become a great coach, because they're just going to naturally be pushing themselves because it's something that they truly enjoy doing. Some people call it the employee mentality, and I don't call it that. I just call it being uninspired. So, you hear that people say they just have an employee mentality and they have to be told what to do. I really don't think that. I think I've seen it enough that if somebody comes in and we really dig in and find out what it is, why they're doing this, and what it is that they love to do about this, and we kind of set up a game plan for them, it's almost like they take off and I'm like, hello, I'm your upline. Don't you need me? Call me. Tell me how you're doing. Because they take off and they become very self-sufficient, which is what we all want eventually, right? Come in. So,
wrap it up?
Nope. I got one more thing to say. And then, believe it or not, I asked Mick to come in because I know it's hot. You can open the door. It's like 105 in here. That he sees me on a daily basis. And so I'm sitting here telling you what I think has kept me going and has helped me help my coaches become successful. But I think he might have a different perspective coming from somebody who sees me on the outside. He better be nice. But anyway, I wanted to end for you on exactly how I inspire my team. You have to walk every kind of walk. So if you are on this Zoom with the Hudgens and you are not exercising and drinking your Shakeology, shame on you. You have no business being on this Zoom. You have to be a product of the product. You have to show people how Beachbody has made your life better. And that does include your health aspect. So even as I come in 8 years ago as a 21-year-old, 26, no, 36, damn it, 36-year-old, I'm now 42, but guess what? I am a healthier 42 than I was 36. So I don't really look that different, but I know I am a healthier person because of Beachbody's programs and Shakeology. So you have to walk the walk. Your reason, I can't read my own writing. If you have a team, health, finances, and relationships are better, and you have to share that openly. Your goal as a Beachbody coach is to prove that it's made you healthier. It's helped your finances. Even if Mick says to me all the time at the beginning, fake it till you make it, even if it was so I could fill up my own gas tank, that was a huge thing for me. So it doesn't have to be that you hit the Millionaires Club. The fact that you were able to fill up your own gas tank is a big deal to a lot of people, especially us stay-at-home moms, right? So health-wise, finances, and most importantly, relationships. A lot of people are looking for good relationships, not only to be inspired through husband and wife relationships, but also friendships. I have found, like the Hudgens, the best friends that you could ever find because these are like-minded, driven people, and you get the best. And you have to be open about that. Open about it on social media, but especially to your team because that inspires them. That's not motivation. That's going to internally drive them to work hard to have that same health, good finances, healthy relationships. And then last but not least, recognize Success Club. I organically get into top 10 because of this. It's not something that I push for. I am competitive, and if I see I'm number 11, I'm like, well, I gotta be top 10. But I don't, that's not my goal. My goal is to help my coaches hit Success Club, and let me tell you why. I think Beachbody is spot on with Success Club. It encourages most everything that attracts people to coaching. Income, helping others, accountability, and recognition. So if you have to hit Success Club yourself, but if you have a team of 1, 2, or 2,200 coaches, you have to push Success Club. People like myself and all these top coaches, 75 months hitting it in a row. We're proof that it works. And Success Club is such a measurable goal of knowing that your coaches have made some income, which is most important to some people, have gotten themselves accountability and support to stay on their own fitness journey, and are going to get recognition from you, which for some people is very important to be recognized for good work. So I really push Success Club on my coaches. So your job is to help your coaches know their why and how to use it to build a business. But if you're new, you also have to do some soul searching and dig deep as to why you joined to be a coach and what makes that belly burn because you became a coach. And this is all duplicatable too. I want you to know that you figure out what inspires you about coaching, and I want you to stick with that. If you lose that, reevaluate. You lead by example, and you learn to inspire your coaches. You encourage them to hit Success Club in a way that they enjoy, and you recognize their efforts, and then you teach them to do the same. And as simple as that sounds, I promise you that is the unless Mick says differently, that is the very reason why I've been able to be elite 6 times and hopefully top 10 5 times, is investing in my coaches, knowing what it is that inspires them and doesn't necessarily motivate them. I'm not a motivator. I want to inspire them to do well. So I got to call Mick back in because he's sweating buckets. Come on.
It's like 127.
I know. And I told him he had to keep it brief. So
make sure he keeps his shirt on. Thank you, husband. Oh, dear God. Take his shirt off.
When she said it was the Hudgens, I was like, man, I don't want to say anything. But no, actually, she called me in to just kind of share, I guess, my perspective of what she's done and how she's built this business. And I don't know anything of what she said even 5 minutes ago when I came in here. It's literally, I would say, like 1:16 in here, and I turned right around and went out because I started sweating. But all I can say is what I have seen or what I have witnessed from the beginning until just 2 weeks ago, we hit our 8th birthday. So, and I say we. So like when this thing started out, it was her, and I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I thought it was crazy. Even the name was crazy. And so with that alone, all I can say is for people that are spouses or teams working this, you know, you and a girlfriend are starting at the same time, whatever the case may be, you guys got to get behind each other. And I heard her say the term fake it till you make it. That is so important. And even more important than that, and I think if there's any secret I could reveal from her, is she's always kept her nose to the grindstone. I mean, so much so that she has no idea what's going on around her. The world could be falling apart, bombs could be going off, the back of her hair could be on fire, and she doesn't know and she doesn't care because she's not looking at what this top coach did or so-and-so signed 72 coaches last month. I mean, that'll deter you, I think, faster than anything. So just stick to the way she sticks to her pace is incredible. And if someone tells you other than this, they're lying to you. If you want to make crazy money in this business, just outwork everyone. I mean, it sounds bad, like you should just work and work and work and work. And you don't have to work 12 hours a day. But however you set it up, with her, I would say she realistically works this business really hard 6 hours a day. And then maybe on Saturday, 3, and Sunday I try to take her away and hide her phone. And so, but she's done this for 8 years without any kind of falter. And that just that consistency alone, it's like a pinwheel. And even our successful coaches that we see in our business, when we go back to the root of it, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're not doing magic. They didn't recreate the wheel. They just work really, really well when they're working.
But I enjoy it, which is what I talked about. And I think that
she does. She can win. We could win the lottery tomorrow and just have oodles and oodles and just be like, oh my God. And I couldn't pull her away from it. This is her hobby and everything. So for those of you that aren't eating, living, breathing fitness, like you may look at Melissa and go, oh, well, it's easy for her because she's a master trainer or she's an instructor or she teaches classes. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if you really like to snowboard or you really like to hunt or you really like to do whatever. Just own that and incorporate the same type of people. Josh Spencer is a great example of that. He is such a sportsy dude and he's so heavy into baseball. He even has a page that's like beer drinking something, whatever. And it's like 86,000 followers on this thing. And he talks about a beer that he drank and where it came from. And then all of a sudden, you know, people just start building like a camaraderie. So just own who you are and just never, ever deviate from that, whether it's from square one or even when you start gaining success. Don't shift your wind sail.
Right.
Wow, he's not just a pretty face. He's kind of smart. I was surprised. Anyway, That's awesome. And that's exactly right. You know, you're right. You are a trophy husband. And guys, that's what's so awesome about this is you're right. And Melissa, I know that is the way for you, is that you absolutely, this is your joy. I mean, it's not your job, it's your joy. And you know, and that's the thing is, you know, that this is what feeds your soul, is being able to, like you said, to help others, to inspire others instead of motivating. And I love the way you put that, because frankly, I'd never even thought of it that way. And until you spell it out and listen on there, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's like light bulb moment for me, because I know where you're coming from on both of those sides. Because there's a lot of times, frankly, that I feel like I need to be motivated. Mm-hmm. And that makes me think, and I know if I'm thinking it, I know there are a lot of other people on this call that are thinking, going, wait. Am I motivated? Am I having to be motivated by this? Or am I motivated to do this? Or am I inspired to do this? And if you're not inspired, why is that? And what's going to make it to where you can be? So that's huge. That's huge. And I think this is some of the best information, quite frankly, that we have gotten, you know, not taking anything away. But the one common denominator, and I want to share, and I know you got to go because you got to get on your other Zoom call, is the common denominator between you and everybody else that we've had on these calls. We've had a lot of successful people on these calls, and some of the top in the company, is you all go back to two different things. Is number one, really being in tune with who you are mm-hmm. and who your people are. And number two, every one of you, you say Success Club, Success Club, Success Club, Success Club, Success Club. And it's not about having your name on that list and stuff, which is, you know, for some of us, it is important to be recognized, but myself included. But more importantly, it's what you see drives your success. It's a non-negotiable. It's something that's always got to be there. And it's not because you're striving to do it. You're just, you know, it's important. You know, it's there. And you're going to do what it takes to get there. And I mean, come on, 74 months in a row that's ungodly. And just to have that, and it's a non-negotiable. But everybody that we've had on here that is uber successful, that's one of your marks of success. And so, I mean, I'm saying that to really remind everybody on this call and everybody that watches the video of this, guys, that's the secret sauce is finding out what you love to do, doing it, and hitting Success Club. And I'm not going to be afraid to tell you, and some of you guys, especially if you got brand new coaches on this team, if you don't love what you're doing in this and you can't find something that you love to do about this business, about this company, go do something else. Mm-hmm. Life is too short. I just got finished. Again, I'm going to go back to my mom, but she spent 35 years at a job that she didn't absolutely love doing, because that's how she felt like she had to make a living. And then so when it got to the point where her mind was gone and stuff like that, I mean, there's no joy. She wasn't able to experience joy throughout her life. And I think it's too short. And for us to not be able to experience joy, and the joy that we can give others in this, whether it be this or being healthy or feeling part of the community, which I think that is so undersold. And I love that you brought that up. But being part of something, that's gigantic. And why wouldn't you want to spread that and to be a part of that? But again, like I said, if you're not into it, you want to go live in a cave and play with rocks, go do it. Don't be a Beachbody coach. But anyway, anything else, Melissa? I know you got to go, and I really do appreciate everything that you shared with us tonight.
Two quick things. I wanted to answer Shannon's question. I do monthly challenge groups. I don't care how long the program is. I do it for a month, because there are 21 days to make or break a habit. So I get them going for a month. I leave the group open, but I'm not active in it. So I start a new group the first Monday of every month, and I help them through that month of making sure that they're doing the workouts and all that stuff. And the second thing is, when I talk about challenge groups, you instantly think I have to be versed in fitness and nutrition and that kind of stuff. You can put together a challenge group on finances. You can put together a challenge group on a Bible study. It doesn't have to be drinking your Shakeology and working out. You can create a community of people that everybody has to eat a little healthier and exercise a little more, but it doesn't have to be the center of your world with Beachbody. Whatever it is that you love to do, it doesn't have to be like me who loves health and fitness. I'm the only one in the top 10 that actually is into health and fitness. I think the rest of them hate it. I don't think they like to work out, but they found a way to connect with people with what they are passionate about. And so that doesn't have to be health and fitness. If you're sitting here going, I really don't want to work out with people. You don't have to. Whatever it is that you love to do, you can center a group, an accountability group, and then, put in some health and fitness in there as well, because whatever they love to do or whatever they're passionate about, they can do better if they're healthy.
Right. Awesome. Perfect. Well, Melissa and Mick, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, thank you. Mick, thank you for sharing her tonight. And Melissa, thank you for sharing your time and sharing with us and this information. Again, I think it's been invaluable. I think this is some of the best stuff and stuff that I definitely am committing to memory. And I know I'm going to go back and watch this and fill in some of the blanks and stuff that I missed as I was writing down. But I really do appreciate your time and appreciate your heart, because what I love about you and seeing your success in this is that it shows that a truly, and nothing against anybody else, because this is not to say anything else about anybody else, but to see a genuinely, truly good person be this successful is inspiring. And makes me realize that we are in the company of some really great people. And to see someone be as successful and to enjoy what you're able to do and still keeping it real and keeping it pure, that just bodes well for what the rest of Team Beachbody is and what our future is. And to have you leading it and be an example in the top 10, really do appreciate who you are and what you're doing. So thanks so much for being with us tonight. Tell everybody else we said hi, and we'll see you guys soon, all right? What's that?
I said that means Tanner, right?
I guess. Just tell Tanner I said hey. Punch him in the right thing.
Okay,
tell him Ty misses him. He really wants to hang out with him.
Okay, deal.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Night.
Well, guys, there you have it, okay? And I hope you have had the opportunity to take some notes tonight. And I want to come back and just tell you, if this is not, if you are feeling like you're having to be motivated, if you're feeling like that every day you get out of bed and you're like trying to think of stuff that, oh man, I've got to do this, or what do I need to do today? Take a step back for a minute, get in your quiet place, meditate if you have to, but figure out what you truly love, okay? Figure out what you truly love to do and go follow that. And again, like I said, if you feel like this is drudgery of being a Team Beachbody coach, that you're being dragged through broken glass, kicking and screaming, this is not the best thing for you. But let me just tell you, the people like Melissa, and like there's so many others that I've had the honor and the privilege to get to know, that have changed not only their lives, but their families' lives and the lives of generations to come. That to be able to see what they've been able to do because of it, it is truly awe-inspiring, and that inspires me to stick with it and to get better. And so I truly challenge you to figure out what you love and what you want to do. So at the end of all of these calls, I like to issue something because I want to make sure you actually watch them. So underneath this, once I post this video up, and of course you can go on. Once it's posted up, I want you to go on. But on the Elite Stronghold page, I want you to post what inspires you, okay? Who knows? Maybe what inspires you may inspire somebody else to get off their duff and do something, okay? But what inspires you? And again, thank you so much for spending your time this evening. I really thank you for joining tonight, and look forward to next week's call as we have our final call in this Master Series, and you won't want to miss it. All right? Have a great week. Love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you next time.